Career professionals. Hello, everybody who is tuning in today. And if you are watching live, guys, I want you to put hashtag live. And if you're watching on the replay, put hashtag replay. Guess who we have with us today, guys? This is Justin Guarini. And for those who do not know Justin, some people might not know Justin, but Justin is pretty popular in 2002 in September. If you watched American Idol, this gentleman has a voice like an angel, and we have him here. And now he is a confidence coach, guys. The guys have confidence you could bottle it up. So we bring him on our show today, guys. So we are just going to quickly check in to see who is with us. Raquel Boras is here. Hello, 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 Raquel. Robert Berry is here. Renee, Dr. Renee is here. Welcome. Jay is here. Wow, Patricia Carey is here, guys. We're going to have a lot of people here today to listen to Justin, because guys, I have some questions for Justin too, you know. So before I even ask him the questions, for those who are just scrolling on LinkedIn and this pops up on your feed, remember, if you want to know who I am, okay, I worked with MindWire as your senior director for 15 years, senior director of recruiting and sales. MindWire, a great recruiting company in Ottawa. I retired in March. So I became a career advancement coach because I went from the help desk to the executive desk. So if you want to know how to up level in your career, what I do, I close the job seeking gap. Whoever works with me, they find that they find a job very fast and they up level in their career. So I just don't help you to find a job. I want you to find that job, like I've done this week with one of my persons who I was coaching. He got a job in 2 weeks. I said, what are we going to do? You found a job in 2 weeks. You're signed up with me for 2 months. What do I do? He says, are you going to leave me now? I said, no, I'm not leaving you now. So I started coaching him about the first 90 days. Because even after you find the job, you still need to know how you're going to get by in the first 90 days. So that's what I did, guys. And I'm so happy to be doing that. So right now, I'm going to bring on Justin. Well, he's right here. And one of the things that I want to find out from Justin, were you born confident? Because I sort of believe that we're all born confident. Bible tells us that we are fearfully and wonderfully made, but we lost it along the way. Mm-hmm. Something happened in our life, in our surroundings, and everything like that, that stole our confidence, guys. So today, Justin is going to tell us how to get it back. Because if you're a business person, you have a story to tell. If you are looking for a job, you have a story to tell. And your story is your career story in your resume, in your interview, and also to negotiate your way. And you are leaving money on the table. My friends will tell you that I say no money on the table. So don't leave money on the table. So with that quick thing, you didn't come to hear me. You hear me every week. I want to bring our gentleman here, Justin Guarini. So Justin, how are you?
I'm doing really well. And I love the fact that you quoted Psalms there. We are fearfully and wonderfully made. That's a really beautiful thing. As a matter of fact, I was actually doing a video about that the other day, about how we are fearfully and wonderfully made. And when you translate from the Hebrew fearfully, it's with great reverence, respect, and And I think it's so true that the very fact our nature that we're here, that we exist, that the earth is in the most beautiful position and spot can be from the sun, and then the fact that we actually are able to be here and do the things and see the things and experience the things we are is a miracle in and of itself. And I think that when it comes to being born confident, I think the very act of birth is magic. The very act of creation, being knit together inside the womb, is its own sort of miracle, and is indicative of the fact that confidence is our birthright. And yet life comes along and tests us. Life comes along and asks us, and sometimes convinces us that we are not fearfully and wonderfully made. And we start to embody that and live from that place based on what other people say, the experiences that we've had, and the stories, as you said, that we tell ourselves about those experiences. So, in a nutshell, I'm excited for this conversation, and I'm looking forward to your questions and seeing where this conversation goes.
Okay. So, what are some of the things that prevent us from being confident? Because I was spending a whole day with a little baby the other day, and the baby is so confident, and I feel that we are born with it because there's no hindrance there. So, what happens along the way? Where could we have lost that confidence that is preventing from telling our story the way we need to tell our story?
Yeah, that's a great question. Can you hear me okay, by the way? Can you hear me all right?
I'm hearing Justin. Is everybody hearing Justin? Guys, let's just stop and put some comments in the comment section. We want to see. I know Raquel is here. I know Robert is here. I've seen them. Patricia is here. So yeah, put some comments in the comment section. I know you're all here.
Yeah, just making sure. My good friend Raquel.
Dr. Renee says she's hearing you. Raquel is hearing you.
Great. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, my good friend Raquel is on the broadcast now, and she and I will do some work together in one of her programs. And I am in the process of being a good dad. I love my kids. I love to take them out and do stuff with them. And like one of the things that we do is we come to a big trampoline park where they get to burn all the energy. So, and Raquel loves it to call the bouncy house, as you saw in the comments there. So. Yes, I'm outside the bouncy house. But we're talking about confidence, and really, when we dive into where did we lose that sense of play, that sense of wonder, that sense of openness and vulnerability, like you see with an infant, like you see with many toddlers, it goes back to the word itself, right? You said, the word, and literally the biblical word, we are fearfully and wonderfully made. But then if we take the actual word confidence and we break it down, and we go to the English root word of confidence, that word is confide. And confide means to trust. And so when we tell our secrets to a confidant, a confidant, it's because we trust that person. Yet if we don't have self-confidence, self-confidence, it just means that we don't trust ourselves. And I bet you and everybody watching and or listening to this can think of a moment in their lives where something happened, a betrayal, whether it was you betrayed yourself, someone else betrayed you, you thought God betrayed you, life betrayed you, and broke your trust. Maybe you broke your trust in yourself. Maybe someone else broke your trust in them. Maybe an experience came along and broke your trust in your very body and the safety and sanctity of the temple. And the trust, that's the root of confidence. And that is also the root of the pain that comes from the loss of trust. And what's so interesting about trust and about confidence is that, and I love to say this all the time, and those of you who have watched me on LinkedIn have heard it a million times, it bears repeating, is that when you grasp this one concept, it can shift dramatically, whether you're trying to get a job, whether you're trying to change your body, whether you're trying to level up a relationship, whether you're trying to get a business going or get a business back from the brink of disaster, or whether you're trying to reconnect with God or whatever your higher source power is. When you get this concept, when you understand that everyone you come in contact with in the world, they don't see you through their eyes, they see you through your eyes.
Wow.
When you
100%.
understand that, when you understand that
Wow.
people see you, right? When you understand that people are seeing you through your eyes, through the lens of your self-perception, through the lens of your self-confidence, aka your trust, you'll realize that when you don't have confidence, aka self-trust, you are literally telling and or showing the people you come in contact with that they cannot trust you. So let's break it down a little bit further then. In business, when you want to get into a business relationship with someone and you don't have confidence, trust in yourself, you're literally telling that person that they can't trust you to do business with you. You're going to do things, say things, behave in ways that speak to a lack of trust. You're going to make rush decisions. You're not going to make the decisions that you maybe could have made had you trusted yourself to make them, right? Okay, let's bring that over into relationships then. Deep, intimate bonds, connections. If you don't trust yourself, you're literally telling that person in the relationship that they can't trust you. And believe me, I've been there, and I think we've all been there, where you do and say things that break that trust, not only in yourself, but break that other person's trust for you. When you
Justin,
don't have trust, confidence in yourself, you make bad food choices.
Yeah, Patricia Carey said that is profound. She's loving it. She says that's profound.
Yeah.
When you
so
don't
I can go on and on.
Yourself.
Yeah, and I can go on and on about relationships and your body, and like that is it. So it comes down to and boils down to, how do we develop a trust for ourselves? And I know that you do this when it comes to finding a job, right? How can you walk into a situation where you are literally asking someone else to believe in you,
Wow.
to hire you, to work with you for the next few, at least months, if not years, if not decades? How can you ask that person on the other side of the desk to trust you if you don't trust yourself? And I know that you speak that.
Wow, that is profound. That is it right there. And so what I find, Justin, is that when I'm working with consult, I place a lot of people. I have found jobs for a lot of people. I teach them those strategies to find their own job. And when I'm working with people, the first thing I have to do, and some of them are on the show here, is to get them to build that confidence, because by the time I get them, they are broken. They have been looking for a job for 6 months, 8 months. And by the time they get to me, they are broken. And you can understand that, because if you know, my little saying is that career goals are life goals. Trust me, if you don't have any money, you cannot go to the supermarket with zero. I don't know anybody who goes to the supermarket with zero and comes back with anything. So that is very important. And people are broken, right? Business people are broken. So if you don't trust yourself, then how do you get, okay, so when you're that broken, and maybe you can answer this. When you are that broken, how do you gain back that trust to trust? Where does it come from? For you to start trusting yourself again, so that you can be confident in an interview, or you go to tell your business story and you say, buy my book. By the way, Justin has a book that's coming out that's called Unshakable Confidence, guys. And I've signed up for it already. So if you have not signed up for Justin's book, you stop right now, do a thing on LinkedIn where you get another window. You go find Justin, you send him a message. You need to connect with him on LinkedIn so you can know when his book comes out, because I already signed up for like 4 weeks ago. Like, I was one of the first persons maybe who signed up for his book. So you got to sign up for his book, guys, because we need to get the information, the good information that comes through our ear gates and our eye gates, so that our mind gates can be pure. It's not everything you're going to watch and listen to. So a book about confidence is a good thing. So I want you now to go switch, not shut off, but, write it down. Or you can duplicate your, what they call the browser. Click on Justin, follow Justin on LinkedIn. By the time we are done here, you should get maybe 100 more followers. Follow him on LinkedIn and make sure you get his book. Okay, so Justin, you're going to answer me now. What was I
Yes.
saying?
Yeah, no worries. Hey, look, I don't mind an ad. I don't mind a quick mid-roll in the middle of my speech. That's great. So thank you very much for your support. I appreciate you. So in the book, and that's a wonderful segue, in the book I talk about, what is unshakable confidence, right? What is unbreakable confidence? As a matter of fact, I'm actually changing the name of the book to Unbreakable from
Well, I
Unshakable
thought
Confidence. You're
I
one of the
thought
first
you
people to hear
would.
that because, yeah, I love it. And so what I want to do is I want to shift a little bit of the focus away from unshakable confidence towards unbreakable confidence. Because think about, for example, buildings in Los Angeles, right? Buildings in Los Angeles back in the early, I don't know, early 1900s, when the earthquake came along and it shook, they'd fall over, right? For many, many decades, they would fall over. But then some wonderful people decided to create something that would allow the building to actually shake and move on rollers and be more flexible, right? So when I think about unshakable confidence, it's like, well, no, our confidence is shaken, shook every single day. It's every single day we have opportunities that come along, things that I consider opportunities come along that shake us up and say, hey, do you really want this? Hey, do you really believe in this? Hey, is this really the path that you want? Hey, come on. Do you want to keep going? Do you want to keep going? Do you want more? Do you want more? Hey, you got it? And so I invite having my confidence shaken, and I'll get to my point in a minute. So I'm thinking, okay, you mentioned broken. People are broken when they come to you. Their spirits are broken. Their trust in themselves are broken. They feel hopeless. And yet, when I think about confidence, I think our confidence is being shaken every single day. However, I want to teach people how to stop themselves before they get to that place of feeling broken. And why I call it feeling broken instead of being broken is because you can never be broken. We're here. We are wonderfully and fearfully made, and we are made in what I would consider made in his image, and so we can never be broken, right? So that being said, we get to this place where we feel broken. Okay, so that leads us back to the conversation of, okay, well, what is the unbreakable confidence formula? And very simply, it's 4 key skills that we develop and apply to 4 key areas of our life. And the 4 key skills are clarity, first and foremost, commitment, creativity, and certainty. So clarity, commitment, creativity, and certainty. And when you take those 4 skills and you apply them to the 4 key areas of your life, which are your body, your spirituality, your relationships, whether that's with your significant other, your children, your family, or your business, which is the making, the keeping, the growing, and the giving of money. When we apply those 2 forces together, it forms the foundation of what I call unbreakable confidence. So let's back it way up to your question. How, when you are in that place of feeling broken, in that place of feeling hopeless, in that place of being like, I cannot go on like this, in the bottom of the pit, what is the rope? What is the ladder that gets you out of that place? What is the first rung of that ladder? And that is the first pillar of what I call unbreakable
Wow.
confidence. And that's clarity, gaining clarity. And it starts with this. And I'm going to get a little close to the camera. I'm going to
Yes.
say it. I'm going to say it like this. Stop lying. Stop lying to yourself. Stop lying to other people.
Oh my
Stop the
goodness. Wow.
cyclical nature of lying. What do I mean? Well, there are lies of commission, telling lies like, oh yeah, uh, I've been working, I've been picking up jobs here and there, yeah. I love to my favorite lie that I have had to stop telling is that, oh yeah, you know what, I'm You know, I'm about to finish this book. I'm writing it, I'm doing it, but I know that there's still a little bit more that I have left, right? I still have a little bit more left. And I love to say, oh yeah, you know, I've been doing this. And yet the truth of that is that I've been resistant to finishing because there's a part of me that's like, what if I have more to say? What if I have more to say, right? So that's just my thing that I had to say, nope, I'm still working on the book. I'm still working. We're going to get there. It's going to be here soon. So when we get to that, those lies of commission, lies that we tell other people to make ourselves seem smarter, better, whatever. Then there's lies of omission, the lies that we leave out, the things that we don't say. Oh, I'm going to tell my spouse 3/4 of the story, but leave out that last quarter that might make them upset, right? So when we do that, we actually weaken our trust in ourselves. We weaken our bond with our word, with our ability to, as you say, express and tell and share our story, right? So that's just before we even get to clarity. And then, and I'll wrap it up here by saying this, because we can go into a workshop if I wanted to, but let me say this when it comes to clarity.
Yes.
And thank you, Renee.
Buy the book.
When it comes to clarity, it's understanding where you are right now and telling the truth about where you are in your body, where you are in your spirituality, where you are in your relationships, and where you are in your business. And one of the subsets of clarity, clarity, what does clarity mean? Okay, well, what's the very first thing that we have to deal with? Well, we have to start telling the truth, and then we have to separate the truth from the facts. What do I mean by that? Well, your truth is a little bit different than my truth. Is a little bit different than Renee Robinson's truth. It's certainly different than our brother or sister's truth, right? A good example of that, what I mean is you get one version of the truth if you watch CNN. You get another version of the truth if you watch Fox News. Not a political debate, just two different versions of the truth. You want to go a little bit deeper? If you watch Fox News, you get one version of the truth. If you watch OAN, you get another version of the truth. If that's too conservative for you, if you watch CNN, you get one version of the truth. If you watch MSNBC, you get another version of that truth, right? So what I mean is truth is relative. It's relative to who we are, how we grew up, the things that we see. What are not relative are the facts. And when we want clarity in our lives about a problem or challenge that we have, we must deal with the facts. Number one, money, right? Big one that I know that your people deal with, that we all deal with, especially over the past 15 months, whether you got it or you don't, you're dealing with a challenge when it comes to finances. And so when I think about clarity and getting down to the facts about my financial situation, when I come to you and I need a job and I see my bank account has far too many zeros in it, I got to get real clear about getting my money right. And the only way I can do that is dealing with the facts. So let's take a hypothetical, and I'll show you why truth and facts are so different in this situation. If I have $10,000 in my bank account in the beginning of the month, and I spend $9,000, and I have $1,000 left at the end, I may think, "Woo, I'm spending too much money. I spent $9,000 this month. Oh my goodness, that's my truth." Now, if a billionaire came along and saw that, that's not a lot of money to spend. That's their truth, right? Again, relative picture. But where do the facts come in? If I have $10,000 in the beginning of the month, and at the end of the month, I have a negative $1,000 balance, right? Or let's just keep it in the same sort of vein. If I have 10,000 in the beginning and I have 1,000 at the end of the month, and I dig into the numbers and I see that I spent $700 on DoorDash and another who knows how many $1,000 on some subscription service or whatnot, things that don't make me money. Those are facts, factual information that I, a billionaire, whoever it is, can come in and say, okay, those are some facts that you need to take a look at and say, do those facts serve you? Do they not serve you? Right? So that's why I love getting down to the factual information, and really take it a subset further, and I'll wrap it up, is the data. What is the measurable data? So if we take clarity, that first pillar of confidence, and we break down the facts, and we want to get factual, let's apply it to our body, right? I don't like the way my body looks. I don't like the way my body feels. I have X amount of challenge or issue with my body. I've got a some sort of physical challenge or even emotional challenge. I got to look at the facts. Okay, how many calories do I eat every single day? How many times do I work out every single day? What are my sleep patterns like? How many hours? Do you see? That's data. That's something I can wrap my mind around and say, okay, here's where I am. I eat 5,000 calories a day. Okay, great. I at least know that I eat 5,000 calories a day. That's factual. And then there's some other things that we can go into at another time. That, okay, what do I do with those numbers? Do I like those numbers? How do they serve me? Again, spirituality. How many times do I pray? How long do I pray? What do I pray for? Measurable data. Relationships, measurable facts. How much quality time without a cell phone, without all the devices do I spend with my spouse or my loved one or my child or my family? Business is probably the easiest one, right? What's the money coming in versus going out, right? Those type of things. And so when we're in that position of pain, that place of pain, it is so vitally important to not get caught in the karmic loop of suffering, which is, I'm not good enough, and the emotional turmoil, and because it just leads you back to more pain, which then leads to suffering. Oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, I'm gonna make terrible choices, which leads you to pain, right? Break that by gaining clarity in your life and getting at the facts of what's going on, the measurable data. Because when you have the measurable numbers and the data, whatever that might be for you, then you grasp power. Then you grasp a bridge and a lifeline that gets you from the pain that you're feeling, bridges you over suffering, and drives you towards purpose. So I hope that makes sense.
So that's what you do with people who you work with. You get them that clarity. You get them to see the pain. You get them to look into where they are and what caused them from they were nice, happy baby that came here with a lot of confidence to now who told them that they were big and fat like a hippopotamus. Who told them that this was, who told them they wouldn't come off to anything? Who told them in their lifestyle, which boss, which toxic boss they had who was trying to take away their livelihood that make them so, lose so much confidence. So you get them to see the things in their life that is stopping them from being great.
Yeah. And to answer Yang's comment here, I don't eat 5,000 calories a day. I have as an example. If I ate 5,000 calories a day, I would have to literally be eating like in the middle of this. It would take me so much to eat 5,000 calories a day.
Yeah, he doesn't eat 5,000 calories a day, and he walks and runs every day. I see him on LinkedIn walking every day and talking about his walking. I watch literally every video he puts out on LinkedIn. I follow him and hear what he's saying along, because when I talk to anybody, I believe in everybody, I follow them around, right? So, I've been following him and all the things he has been saying on LinkedIn and the truths about life. Because, guys, life can boomerang at you, right? Things can be going well and then things just don't go well. So it is very important that we guard what we call our confidence, that we know why we are not confident and deal with the things that make us change along the way. And that's what something like Justin does with people who works with him. on his last show. I saw the guy who just lost a ton of weight in a short period of time. See, I'm watching your show. And I've been watching your show. I've seen that. And so he's working with people for all that stuff. Guys, I have to deal with the challenges of job seekers when they come to me. I just don't I don't write resumes. Everybody who works with me know that I don't write resumes. I teach people how to write their own. I teach them, I start out with them to get the whole clarity thing and to figure out what what they need to change before they even think of what job do I want, right? So there's a lot of stuff that is going on why I'm finding that people are not finding the jobs. And a lot of it has to do with their confidence. And the same things, all the business people on here who are working, as Justin is saying, the lies that we tell ourselves every day, the hard things that we don't want to do, and we say, okay, I'm going to put it off until tomorrow, and things like that. So I think that this is great. This is great advice. So I'm just going to quickly shout out to the audience, guys. I know some of you are calling from all over Canada and all over the United States. You're coming in. So do you have any questions for Justin? Do you have any question? Question time, guys. Don't let him go away. You're not going to see Justin Guarini on everybody's show, okay? And not everybody's going to pump him up with all my nice music that I brought him in on. So he's not going to be on every show, guys. You gotta ask your questions now. What questions you have for Justin, right? Okay, Sid says confidence is key. Absolutely, 100%. If you lose that, guys, we're gonna have to start over, right? And Marquis says that you gotta break this cycle. Justin is giving 100% truth tonight. You gotta follow him on LinkedIn, right? You gotta follow him on LinkedIn and hear his truth. All right. Okay. So we have Renee Robinson saying makes complete sense. Thank you, Dr. Renee. Thank you very much. And we have golden advice coming from Jay, which is saying that clarity is key. So that's wonderful. Chinier is saying that, Patricia is saying that this is profound, and Chinier is saying that that's powerful. And when we work with consultants or people who work with us, if we change, for example, if you're here tonight and we change one person, we're happy, right? We don't have to be changing 100 people, right? If we are reaching out to one of you guys and you are making the change, that we are 100% happy, right? Okay, so Justin has, Raquel says here that Justin and I are on tonight at 8 p.m. Guys, if you're still on your computer, and I know we're all locked down, so we're going to tune in again at 8 p.m. to get Justin. He has his show. And, I thank you for doing this because you have your show at 8 and you come onto my show at 6. And that's great. And as you can see, guys, Justin came on my show. There's no pompousness about him. He's amazing. There's no pompousness about this guy. This guy's a real deal, guys. This is the real deal. Okay. So Sid has a question. He says, how do you maintain that confidence? That old saying, it is easy to get an A, it's harder to keep it.
Well, that's an interesting story. Yeah, sure. That's a very interesting story. Yeah, and to answer Jo there, I think it's Justin Guarini, just my name, pretty sure, for the LinkedIn handle. So how do you keep confidence? It's easy enough to. How do you keep it? And I'd say the best way that you can keep confidence, aka keep that trust in yourself, one of the best ways is to develop a routine. And like you see me doing every single day, I am doing something in terms of building a relationship with myself. It's going out and it's walking or taking a jog or working out or meditating. I have a whole morning routine that I do every single morning, with the exception of this morning. I missed a couple of them because I got off a flight at around midnight last night. Wow. And so I slept in a little bit. But every single morning I get up and I have a routine that is all my own, that I take and I work on those 4 key areas: my body, my spiritual connection, my relationships and my business. And I put myself into a position of power, and I literally create my own victory before I go to war with the day, right? It's like dogs need something, my children need something, my wife needs something, business needs all before all those things come at me and after me and attempt to uh, um, use my energy. um, I I end up making sure that the child is trying to get in here now. Of course, yes, my son. Sure. So hey,
Wow.
it's like, so I make sure that I give myself I make sure that I give myself that time to be able to develop my relationship with myself to get that victory before I go to war, right? Most people go to work seeking a victory. Most people go into the day looking for that victory, looking for that win. I give myself the win, and other people who have morning routines literally give themselves that win the very first day. And that's how you keep or work, and that's how it's easier to keep your confidence, right? And know that you're doing something every single day, bit by bit by bit by bit, to build that relationship with yourself, to strengthen the relationships you have with the people in your life, to strengthen the relationship you have with God or spirit or whatever you want to call it, and strengthen your understanding the relationship you have with business, which is the keeping, the making, the growing, and the giving of money.
Right. Heather likes that. She says, I love it. Set up your win before you start the day. If you haven't learned anything, guys, set up your win before you start the day. Michael says he does the same thing, create his own business success before engaging with business. It pays off. And Jay Jackson says, regarding honesty and clarity, have you ever read Brand Blanton's book and programs on radical honesty? Very helpful. So Jay has been doing some honesty thing there. And Laura says, hi, Laura, great question and brilliant response. And Sid says, thank you so much. Routines are so important. So we got to have our morning routine because it helps us so that we can help other people, right? So we got to set that up. Okay, so any more questions for Justin? As you can see, his son wants daddy. You know, kids are. His son wants daddy. Okay, so that's great. Keeping relationship with yourself, says Marky. We're getting some nuggets here. At times we get so busy and forget ourselves. I am learning to love for me. So this is resonating with people. And Yang says, how can I tell genuine weakness from a deceiving saboteur voice? Self-awareness versus self-display. Oh my, this is academic. This is huge. How can you tell a genuine weakness?
Yeah, and that's a great question.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Well, the saboteur voice is a foundational element of a weakness, right? And when we get really clear about our pain and we listen and embrace that saboteur voice, I'm not saying do what it says, but what would happen if you said to that saboteur voice in your head, okay, let's talk. Tell me what that is, what you're thinking. Tell me that saboteur's voice, right? Because that saboteur voice is the little chisel that bangs away at the foundation of the things that we hold dear, right? And kind of searches for those weak points. But what happens if we embrace that and say, okay, speak, but always question, is that really true? You know what? I am a terrible person. That's what the saboteur voice says. I am awful. I'm a liar. And I'm no good. I'm this, that, and the other. Okay. Is that really true? What are the examples of that? Oh, well, I've done this, that, and the other. Oh, okay. All right. Sure. Are you doing those things right now? Am I doing this? Huh. And it's about getting into a dialogue, a really wonderful resource for you is the work of Byron Katie. Read the work of Byron, Byron, Katie, Katie. It looks like the names are backwards, but Byron Katie. She does something called the work. And it literally is a system and a series of questions that when you have a thought, like a saboteur thought comes along, I am not enough. That's basically what all of them boil down to, right? When that thought comes along about your body, when that thought comes along about your relationship with spirit, higher power, God, whatever you want to call it, when it comes along with your relationships with your significant other, children, your family, your business, there is a formula. There is a way to question and to do what she calls inquiry. Because what we do is we hear that saboteur voice and we go, no, 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 oh, no, no, no. And we look at our phone or we have a drink or we watch TV or we smoke something or whatever. And that's great, no judgments. But that voice just stays there and it keeps waiting for that event that comes along in our life, like you were saying, that knocks us sideways. And then all of a sudden we're weak, we're down. And who comes along? That saboteur that says, oh, hey, told you this would happen. Told you weren't able to handle this. And in our weakness, we go, oh, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. And that becomes our story. And again, that suffering, pain cycle that I talked about, that's when we step on that merry-go-round of pain and suffering. However, when we, in a place of strength, hear that voice, when we are feeling whole, when we hear that voice, we say, oh, hey, oh, okay, oh, talk to me. No, don't go away. No, come on. No, I don't have to go move the phone. No, let's talk. Let's get into this because I want to see if you're right. And when you get into it with that saboteur voice, more often than not, you recognize that the saboteur voice is an invitation. We see it as a condemnation more often than not, but when you can go at the voice, that saboteur voice, and say, yes, tell me more. Tell me more. Because when we get past the first, you're not enough, you're not this, you're not that, then we move into a place of you're hurt. You feel abandoned. You're suffering. And then we move from that place. Then we get into the place of I want to just feel good. I want to be loved. I want to feel like someone gets me. I want to feel like my life has purpose. My existence means something. Like I'm going to matter. Like I matter. Right? But if we don't get into inquiry, if we don't say, okay, yes, tell me all the yes stuff. Come on, let it all out. No, come on, girl. Right? If we don't do that, then we don't ever get to the place of truth. And then if we don't get to the place of truth, then we don't get to the place of epiphany and lesson.
Yeah.
And the deeper spiritual truth. And so, Byron Katie's work is an amazing example. I saw somebody who loved Byron Katie, and it's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we get to the thought behind the thought. It's like the man behind the curtain, right? It's like the wizard in The Wizard of Oz is scary as heck. But when we open up the curtains, it's just a man pulling some levers and some dials. And that man's scared.
Don't you find you have to sort of so when the negative thoughts keep coming at you, and it's probably because of something in your past that maybe somebody has said to you, because I say sometimes you have to close your ear gates and your eye gates to certain things so that they don't corrupt your mind gate, right? So don't you find that some of those negative thoughts are because of your environment and of the history, and you have to kind of, I was Pentecostal, right? I go to Pentecost. I love Pentecostal church. You rebuke those negative thoughts because they're just things that are coming into your mind to mess you up, right? And I like how you say that you have to question. Don't just take this stuff in, question, okay, you know more than me, so tell me more.
No, I don't think there's a no more. I think it's interesting because when you think, I rebuke you, Satan, I rebuke these thoughts in a very Pentecostal way, which is gorgeous. That is from a place of power, right? When you are rooted in, like you would be in the Pentecostal church, when you're rooted in the Christ mindset, in the God mindset, when you are rooted in the fact that he can never lie. And so I am an expression and a manifestation of his truth. And when you're rooted in the fact of, oh God, not rooted in the fact of God, please do it for me, but rooted in the fact of God, please do it through me, then I rebuke you, negative voice, is much easier to go about executing. But the interesting thing about that negative voice, Yang, and such a wonderful question that you asked here, because it's led to such a great path of thoughts, is it's kind of like, you ever been working, you have the radio on, and you're working, you're doing whatever at your computer, and you hear the song, and then you get really into something on the thing, and the song goes away. You don't hear it, right? And then all of a sudden you stop, you're like, oh, I love that song right now, and it's been halfway through the song. Well, life is kind of like that. And that negative voice is kind of like that. When you are focused on your passion and your purpose, when you are focused on executing the promise of your life, that negative voice doesn't go away. That saboteur doesn't go away, but it's like a radio in the background when you're working and when you're focused on something you really love. It just lowers. And you don't pay attention to it because your focus is not on it anymore. It'll be there. It'll always be there. Every single time I walk out onto a stage, it's there for me. I just, as you beautifully put it, I rebuke it. It slides off me. And then it comes again, it just slides right off me, and I move right along. Sometimes it'll stick here and there, but then what happens when it sticks? I say, oh, okay, let's talk about it. Let's go. Is that really true? And when we get into inquiry, when we get into not trying to avoid the saboteur, but to question and to interrogate the saboteur and to make them tell us the truth, because 99.9%, 999% of the time, that saboteur is telling you a lie. When we get them and wrestle, whether that's spiritually wrestling with the word that comes to us, when we wrestle with it and we get to the truth, that truth often is an invitation, and it's a lesson that is there for our growth.
Wow.
That is there as a key to help us manifest that which we desire.
Amen. Patricia said, I love this. I think Patricia is in church right now. Awesome. Yeah, maybe you should be a preacher, Justin. That is so profound. That is so good. Oh my God. Wow. I don't even hear this on your show. Oh my Jesus.
My daddy's a preacher, so I get it.
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. If you're looking for a job, if you're in business right now, and if you're somebody wrote something nice and big, I'm going to highlight. If you're looking for a job and if you're in business right now, there are going to be voices in your head. The saboteur voice, Yang put it nicely. There are going to be those saboteur voices in your head that tell you can't get this job. Don't listen to those voices, because honestly, you don't have the skills, but then somebody goes and get the job who did not have the skills and the experience, because they showed up and they communicated their career story. Don't you know sometimes it's not the most experienced person get the job or the person who have the most skills, but the person who can communicate their career story or their business story, and they are the person who are getting the business, guys. So you stop telling yourself, I can't. You gotta stop feeding those saboteur voices. No, if you don't remember anything, you're gonna remember what Justin said today. Justin is in church today. I'm so happy that he's here with us. And let me see what Michael is saying. You always have to confront the accuser of the brethren. Michael wants to preach. The saboteur voice. Most people run away from it and use vices to deepen it. dampen it. And the problem is that it never really goes away when you address it and find the truth and the root causes of the issues. Because, guys, everybody has confidence problems, right? Our confidence can be shaken like the twig on the side of a river, but it cannot be broken. And that is why Justin has shifted his thing from unshakable confidence. I say that this evening. I almost emailed him and said, should I call it today unbreakable confidence? But I didn't, because I was kind of edging towards that all week. Because I feel and I figured, and I watched his other last live show too, right? So he knows that I'm paying attention. And I realized that he was shifting, but he did not tell anybody. And I don't know if you guys, when you watch with intent like me, because I was about to take a book and paper here, but I know I can watch his show about 6 times, so I didn't bother. I started writing clarity. So I hope you got your pen and paper down tonight, guys, because this is important. And Justin has taken, he was traveling last night. He came here today. He has a show in another 2 hours. That means he spent his time with us. And we are so happy to have him here to clear up this clarity thing for us, to clear up this thing for us. So, guys, just maybe one more question. If you have one more question, somebody wants to take Justin to church. Hallelujah. Oh God, Justin. And I watched Justin on LinkedIn, and I remember he said in one of his, he was running one morning and he came on to talk about, he was thinking about some things that was happening, and he talked about his spirituality. And it really touched my heart. And he was saying a couple of things, and I said, people have to hear this. You gotta hear this, guys. And guys, I know sometimes you watch and you read things on LinkedIn, but you gotta watch and listen to the right people. You have to tune in. You have to follow the right people so you can have the good information going through your eye gate and your ear gate, because some of the stuff that you're watching is mashing up, or Jamaica would say mash up. It mashing up your mind gate, right? So it is very important, guys. Go on LinkedIn, follow Justin on LinkedIn. Justin, where else can we find you? Do you have a website?
Oh, you can find me all across the interwebs. I do. It's under construction right now, so I don't like to send people to it. Okay. In the next week, probably about 7 to max 14 days, it's going to look completely different. But just find me on either LinkedIn at Justin Guarini. My name should be somewhere around here somewhere. And then all across Instagram, Facebook. It's
all about those Instagram people at Justin Guarini. That's Instagram.
Right, Justin Guarini. Just at me. And if you can't spell Guarini, just look up the guy from American Idol with the hair. It's totally fine.
Google it. I looked you up today, and I've been studying you. I was on Wikipedia. I was all over to figure out, when was the American Idol? 2002, and what Simon Cowell said, that he has never heard such a voice and all that stuff. And I say, wow. September it was. That was the first American Idol show, guys. This guy wowed the whole world, and he has been on Broadway. He has been on the Dr. Pepper advertisement, and he has been coaching people on confidence to get them up. Last week, a guy told his story how he was, like a little heavyset and having some issues. How Justin just whip him into shape, and the guy looks so great. So Justin is doing a great job. He's working with Sarah Boris with kids, helping her vision come true, and he's going to be on tonight again. His show is at 8:00 every Tuesday, and my show is at 6:00 every Tuesday. So if you want to double take on it, because I don't mind. I mean, it's lockdown. What are you going to do? You're there, you're working, just click again at 8:00. Watch it, gentlemen, because he's giving you good food for your ear gate and your eye gate, so that you develop the right mindset, guys. Without the right mindset, you can't do anything. Without the right approach to life, you cannot do anything. You're just going to stay in your house and you're going to whittle away. So you got to get the good food. So why I started watching Justin and following Justin on LinkedIn and stalking him on LinkedIn and stalking all his, watching his content and consuming his content is because he has good information that gets to my eye gates and helps my mind to have positive vision or positive things about me. And that is why I brought Justin on today. So without further ado, guys, Justin has another show and I don't want to tire him out. He's already tired. 6:54. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say goodbye to, and Justin, I will always comment on your stuff because you have good information, and I'm so grateful that you came on today. And I am going to go out, guys, with a little bit of information here to tell you a little bit about what I do, because I have a guy who got a job in 2 weeks. He was looking for 6 months. Guy got the job in 2 weeks, and he wants to let you know that it's not that hard, but I had to help him to develop his confidence. All right. And so, Justin, thanks a lot for coming. And I'm going to go out with a little information for them to understand how confidence is important to their job search. And I'll see you at 8.
Thank you very much.
After searching for a job for 6 months, a friend introduced me to Yvonne on LinkedIn. I consulted with her and decided to hire her to provide me with career coaching. Yvonne is motivated to help each
I don't know how to add it to the
goals.
stream, so I might have to add it back to the stream. Okay, I don't know. Okay, so I gotta add the.
After the first session, I was able to gain the clarity and vision for my.
Hi, Justin.
After searching for a job for 6 months, a friend introduced me to Yvonne on LinkedIn. I consulted with her and decided to hire her to provide me with career coaching. Yvonne is motivated to help each client reach their goals. After the first session, I was able to gain the clarity and vision for my career that I needed. I started developing so much confidence that by the second week, I attended a job interview and got hired on the spot. We accelerated my coaching, and Yvonne provided flexibility in her approach and pivoted my training to career advancement success for the first 90 days. Yvonne closed my job search gap in 2 weeks and provided the confidence I needed to communicate my value, land a job I love, and increase my income. If you're looking for a job or career advancement, I highly recommend Yvonne.